stand by me only if I'm right. I come out in triple darkness just to see the light. If I say it once, I guarantee I say it twice. If they want me, I ain't going out without a fight. In my dreams, I'm a killer, but for God, man. Try to play it cool, but it's getting hard, man. Rolling with the real and death to all the frauds, man. Not too many of me, yeah, it's kinda hard, man. In my room, sitting in my room. Know they waiting on me and I'm coming soon. Never been a sellout, never been a coon. Y'all be on the camera acting like I'ma show them how I true.
To tell our people in our community that they had the power to change their reality. You gotta believe that, man. You have to believe that you have the power within yourself to change your reality if you don't like it.
It sounds like
Yo, what's up? What we doing, man? What we doing is the B2M crew. We need y'all to like, subscribe, share, all of that. We need y'all to support this movement we got going on. This is now episode, was it 52?
Nah,
53. This will be year 2.
Yeah.
Year 2, season 2.
Episode.
Wow, episode
2024, let's go.
Yeah, awesome.
2024.
Hey, look, I got something for us, man. We just saw the turn of a new year.
For sure.
Right? This is our current event joint. Turn of a new year, 2024. I know everybody made their resolutions. Some people don't believe in resolutions. Whatever you did, we are starting a new calendar year, whatever you believe.
Come on now.
Right? This podcast is about parenting. We have 12 sons between us that we and our wives raised, thankfully with the village of our families and friends. What's going on now, I live in the D.C. metro area. What's going on now is we got 12, 13, and 14-year-old babies carjacking people 1,000% more than it was last year.
Good God.
In Fairfax, it was I don't know what the percentage was, it's saying Prince William, Baltimore County, Baltimore City, Prince George's County, Montgomery County, D.C. We got more teenage pregnancy. We got fentanyl coming across Mexico border, killing people. I saw one fentanyl addict say that you just must assume that fentanyl is in every street drug. Just take that assumption.
Wow.
That they're using fentanyl to cut every street drug.
weed
right?
too. Weed, everything.
Everything. Whatever. Right? You got the pill game going on. Everything, man. Right? And then we got this thing that we talking about reclaiming the village. We say we need to reclaim the village because we feel the village is destroyed. It's disjointed. So what's the state? We got President Biden about to do a state of the union. What's the state of black parenting? Ooh. What's the state of black parenting?
Good question, brother.
Whose fault is it that too many of our babies are running rampant, and we can easily say, well, it's their parents' fault. Okay, if it is, then maybe they can't help themselves out. How do we get them out? I don't know. But what's going on with our morality? Anything goes. It's okay to get an abortion. I don't care. Whether you believe whatever or not, I'm just saying it's okay to get an abortion. It's okay to do whatever. It's your body. Everything is your, me, I. No village about anything. What is wrong with black parenting?
In the words of the late great Bernie Mac, he said, kids ain't the problem. Parents the problem because we some punk ass parents.
Woo.
That's what Bernie Mac said. We some punk ass parents.
Okay.
We have relinquished our responsibility and duties to society. And we can't be surprised that we getting the product we getting. Because every day when our kids open up their phone, look at TV, social media, YouTube, whatever they're looking at, they're constantly being bombarded with a value system. And that value system is imposing upon our young people what to believe and what's important.
Right. Okay.
And if we are not intentional about what's truly important within our families and how they should act accordingly, if we're not intentional about teaching these things to our young people, then that phone gonna teach them something. And because that phone is constantly trying to get in their pocket. See, the phone is trying to get in your pocket every day. You know, whatever you see on TV, social media, it's trying to get in your pocket because it's all about a dollar. And so the value system is falling away. Like I said earlier, man, you know, we have sent the wrong message because we trying to get a bag. Nothing matters, man. It's like Louis Vuitton, Gucci,
What's wrong with
Prada.
getting a bag?
Ain't nothing. When your value system is out of whack, that's what's wrong with it. See, when you stop teaching family, you stop teaching morals and principles, and there's a certain way to conduct yourself. And when we stop teaching that, and when it comes to money, just anything goes. This is what you get. So because I want some money, I can go carjack somebody. Because I want some money, I can sell illicit drugs. Because I want some money, I can just do whatever I want to do, all in the name of a dollar. We have become slaves to that dollar. It's become our God.
Are you a socialist, a communist? Are you not a capitalist?
Hey,
Oh, there you go.
I'm a capitalist all the way. But we do know there's some problems with that system.
Oh,
But at the same time, we can't lose our humanity trying to get a buck, man.
Hey,
And that's the problem.
Can I go somewhere real quick? You pointed out something. I know you was being facetious, right? I know you were being facetious when you
Was
asked
he?
him was he a capitalist.
Was he?
But but maybe he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't. But look, but what I will say is this. That's what we fall victim to as you know what, we don't have an identity as a collective community anymore. And Henry Louis Gates, Dr. Gates, and I love the show where he goes back. What's the name of the show? Where
Ancestry,
people find their roots.
Journey,
from
yeah.
Kaiser,
I
West
love
Virginia.
it. Yeah, I want him to do mine. I want to know how much it costs him to do mine.
Yeah.
But I've been doing some of my own, but he's seeing it got some
He got some hookups.
resources
Yeah,
other people
yeah.
don't have or something.
Right.
But he's famous for saying it's 40 million different ways to be black.
Wow.
At the time when there was 40 million blacks in America, right? But his point was we're not monolithic.
Monolithic.
We're not everything is not groupthink. And technically speaking, Dr. Gates, and if y'all asking me, am I taking on Dr. Gates? Yeah. No, look, technically speaking, okay, I give you that. Right? Figuratively speaking, symbolically speaking, in between the lines speaking, how life actually plays out speaking, human beings and classes and groups of human beings have a collective identity and spirit, right? And that collective identity and spirit for us comes from, we always say we came from Africa. We always talk about Africa, but Africans will be quick to tell you, yo, it's like, what is it, 57 countries or something over there, right? So you got 57 countries, not at the time it wasn't even countries. You had hundreds of cultures, societies, right? Communities, villages,
In many languages.
kingdoms, and many languages coming together. The collective spirit was broken at that point. It was fragmented when they didn't allow us to communicate. When they put those things on our heads that you saw in the Blacks and Whites Museum to make sure that we couldn't speak the language to one another. All of these tactics that eliminated communication, right, broke the spirit. That the fact that we have rampant, we talked about this, the fact that we have rampant children out of wedlock, men being used to fuel the plantation. I read an article the other day, I was doing something for work. It said that at one point in slavery, they were making so that because slaves were dying so much because of diseases in a couple seasons, they was making it a rule that girls had to start having babies at 12 or 13.
Good God.
Right? So the genetic trauma that gets passed down to generation, and we fight to have culture, we fight to have values, and it pops up, and it comes up, and it shows its brilliance at times, and then we get slapped back down by some reality, right? So we are broken to me right now as a people when you look at all of the data. We got more children disengaged, disconnected, devalued, more poverty, more everything. And Joaquin said we're chasing the bag, right? We're chasing the bag And not only that, we're chasing the bag. To me, we become less and less civilized as a people.
You gonna have to explain that last statement.
I think when you go from what your grandmother, absent the development of society with technology, because certain things change is dictated by technological changes. But the value systems, where at one time, for example, it wasn't okay for your grandfather to come court her without speaking to her parents.
Right.
And coming to the porch.
Yeah.
And introducing and presenting himself. And now somebody can meet, he could have met your grandmother on Instagram in a DM. And she doesn't have a standard. The daughter doesn't have a standard for this is not a respectful way for a gentleman to present himself to me or introduce himself to my world or my life. So I'm talking about, so when I say less civilized, those things like that, even though they might seem small, those things contribute to a strong fabric community. Those things contribute to a strong village. So when I say less civilized, I'm saying there's less strong village, less strong community, less strong fabric strings that tie us into a value system that speaks to developing the whole versus believing that individuals got to go get it on their own.
Yeah. And that's partially what I was thinking is when you said, I think your original question was, what's wrong with black parenting? What's wrong with it is there's hardly any black families in the traditional sense of the family unit. You know what I mean?
The quote unquote nuclear family.
Right, there you go.
Mother, father, kid.
And for us, most of us, kind of establish, kind of reestablishing that, or as we're mentioning, and what's been the mantra as of late, reclaiming the village. That's what we've tried to do with our families and with what we're doing. Two-parent household, two-parent household, two-parent household, two-parent household. Well,
started out that way.
Right, started out that way.
Yeah.
But a strong, co-parenting and presence in your boy's life, nonetheless, despite that. And so we have kind of set it back, we're trying to set the precedence of reclaiming that and doing that. So once we get the strong nuclear family unit,
when
type,
you say we, who are you talking about?
We as a community, black as a community. Well, I'm talking about us.
When we do.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But I'm saying we're with what we're trying to do in the whole purpose of our podcast. And what we're trying to do is in reclaiming that and establishing that. That's what's necessary.
Right.
And you spoke of it with regards to somewhat not being civilized or the lack of civilization or the degree of civilization that we had as a people, some time ago.
You know what's uncivilized? And I was trying to be gingerly because I wanted to be nice and not call people uncivilized. But I'm going with the definition of knowledge, wisdom, culture, refinement, right? All of that.
Right.
You know what's uncivilized? Not accepting accountability for one's actions.
That's uncivilized.
That's uncivilized. That's behaving like an animal that can't rationalize, that can't critically think, right? That can't reflect on one's actions. And the reason why I say that, to me, we chasing the bag and we doing all of that, but we got people chasing the bag and got some issues with spending time at home. But if you're chasing the bag and you holding your children accountable and you holding yourself accountable, you pretty much, they're going to be okay, right? The problem is too many of us, because of our own inflated our own inflated ego of who we are and who we want to have others think we are, how we want to appear to others, Our child can't do that. My child didn't steal that. My child didn't say that to those people.
Right.
So then we go into all of these environments, like when we were talking about advocating for your child,
All right.
and we actually model for our child how not to hold yourself accountable and keep moving forward in life. That's what we're modeling for. Because that's why we don't have a village, because your mama can't tell me go in the house no more.
Why not?
Right? Because we ready to fight. Because everybody's no longer, that's my sister, that's my brother. Who is that nigga telling me I can't do this or that, or that MF, and who is that B to tell me about my child? What's she trying to say about me? See, everything goes back to how we think somebody is, what they're saying about us as an individual. So then we parent that way.
Right.
And these children are just learning, I ain't got to be held accountable. I can tell you, I can name 100 students by name and tell you how their lack of accountability and being held accountable led to them being in jail or in prison or in some life dead-end situation that they don't want to be in. Accountability to the family, to the village, to the community.
So to be accountable, don't you have to have some sort of value system to be accountable to?
You do. And I think as much as we all like to have fun, I think we can admit that chasing the American dream has resulted in us destroying the black village.
What
Dang.
you talked about earlier, you said social media, boom, boom, boom. You talked about the value system. Is that the value system, or is it just propaganda that turns maybe
Propaganda
turns
that
into
is
you?
propaganda that becomes your value system.
How do you overcome that?
You have to establish what it is in your family. So, you know, my man Ed Milet always says, you know, at some point every family was poor until that one came along. And he's talking about money. But sometimes that one that can come along is the one that comes and establishes a new value system for the family. Okay? Don't bring no more kids in here as teenage mothers, all right, and fathers. Okay, we all gonna graduate from high school and go off to better things. We're all gonna be respectful of the family. We're gonna have a new set of values that we live our lives by. We're gonna be accountable to ourselves, to this family, and to this community as a whole. That's what we're gonna do. I always like to tell my boys, I'm teaching you how to be a global citizen. I want you to think about the world, not just you in this house, in this town. That's why we try to travel all over the world, and we're blessed to be able to do that. But that was the intent behind that, is so you can go and see what folks are living like in some underdeveloped nations. And so you can have a level of compassion for those people, and you can start to understand the blessings that you have.
Right.
All right. So many times, man, we just chasing money. But here's the thing, and here's what happens. When you become that person, you say in your family that say, you know what? We're gonna break generational curses. We're gonna break these cycles. We're gonna make some changes. You then become the person that starts to hold everyone else accountable. What you have to understand when you do that is that you will then be ostracized to some degree, because not everybody is going to be accepting of that.
Right.
Okay? You can have you like checking on your little cousins and you're like, hey man, let me see their report card. Turns out their mama is hiding the report card from you.
Ain't nobody hear your mouth all the time, man.
That's right. They don't
so
want to be
judgmental.
held. They don't
Why
want to
you
be
so
held
judgmental?
accountable, because I have set a standard,
You said
and
the
now
mama.
now I have set a standard, and I am going to set a standard, and I'm going to hold you accountable, and I'm going to tell you that you're better than that. I expect more from you, and I expect you to meet these standards.
Abetting ignorance.
Exactly.
Wow.
So what happens is people start to feel a certain way, because all of a sudden, don't nobody tell you nothing. Because I don't want to hear his damn mouth. He think he know every goddamn thing. This is how the family start to talk about
And it
you
shouldn't be, right?
when you that person.
Right.
All right. So you have to, as in the book, Dr. King book, talked about bearing the cross. You got to be willing to bear that
Mhm.
and take that on for this family, for your family, and say, hey, here's the new standard, here's the new expectation, and I'm gonna hold you
You gotta
all
love your people
accountable.
more than they hate themselves, right?
Bingo. You gotta love your people more than they hate themselves.
So that parent that's holding that report card and from you,
I understand.
is a reflection of them. Is that why they doing it?
Of shame, you think? Or
That's
whatever?
what I
it
get
is.
at. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
The ego
Yeah.
Chubb was talking about.
Or maybe,
Yeah.
what if they trying their best and they can't get it right?
Then that's why I'm here. Let me fill that role.
You
If
ain't
trying
try your best if you didn't get asked for help.
So all right. So some people embarrassed to ask for help, man. I'm trying, I'm working. I don't have a master's degree. You know what I mean? I'm working, I'm struggling. I've worked since I was 13 years old, and this is the best I can do. I've been working 40, 50,
Back
60 hours a week.
to ego. Back to ego. Notwithstanding all of that, you're a human being that has a need. Ask for help.
It's easier said than done, but the beauty
Asking
of,
for help.
sure,
Who
for some,
My experience
I've
has
been
been
grinding.
it's not as much a matter of asking for help as it is a matter of I'm gonna let them other people be responsible for raising my child. And so I'm too lazy. I'm not gonna put the time in to go find out what's going on because now I'm involved in it.
I think asking for help sometimes means, like James and John was probably kind of hitting on, was if I'm an adult, there's a certain level of expectation out of me, and I just need to maybe figure it out
Hey,
versus ask.
Let me
hey,
say
man, I'm
this.
working 60 hours a week, and I'm sorry if I don't have a degree or trade, and I'm
You
making
keep saying
X
the
amount
degree
of
thing.
money.
I'm not gonna let you
No,
keep
no,
saying
no.
that
What
degree
I
thing,
say a
though, bro.
degree trade or what have you, and I'm making this amount of money, and I'm not there all the time. But I have rent to pay, I got bills to pay, and I'm a single parent. And so how can I be in two places at one time? You
But
want me to
wait.
live off the system? No, I'm asking, what do you say to
You
that
know
person
what?
that
You
says
know
that?
what? And I hate to say this
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You know, when you was popping off up in there,
Yeah.
maybe you should have thought
Yeah.
about all that.
Yeah.
I ain't making no excuses for a baby you made.
Yeah.
And because this is about priorities, because you know what? We keep talking about chasing the bag. We ain't chasing no damn bag. I mean money. We chasing things. Because most of the time we got enough money for what we need. Because we eating in many cases. And I'm not talking about everybody. But even people that are find themselves on public assistance are getting, I'm not saying it's enough. But food, clothing, and shit, there's a lot of hunger out there. And there's a lot. But my point is, we're chasing material objects because many people across the spectrum of the economic band of our community are chasing the Louis, the Gucci, the car. You go out any project house, any community in the world, anywhere, and go up into the most lucrative neighborhoods, all the same cars in the neighborhoods. I mean, it's you know what I'm saying? All the same clothes being worn. So to me, it's money, but we want the money because we want the clout.
things that it
We
can
want
get.
the
Yeah.
ego. And I'm back to that ego thing. So, but then if I can't ask for help, and at some point, and I get it, they stressed out, they overwork, you work 60 hours, but is it ego when you can't ask for help?
Let me tell you what it is. That's why one of the principles you should teach your young people is humility. Because ultimately, when you are humble and you have learned to be humble, that allows you to ask for help. Because now your ego not in the way. Because you have a certain level of humility about yourself. And when you have that humility, you are not, we've all heard it. We gotta stop spending money that we don't have, buying things we don't need to impress people we don't know. That's what we're doing.
Right.
So when you have a level of humility about yourself, you're not trying to impress people you don't know. You're not trying to spend money that you don't have.
It's one thing to be humble and confident versus being mush down and humble doing.
Let me
you
just
don't
say
have
this.
anything.
Let me just say
What do you
this.
tell the kid that got one pair of shoes?
I'm about
and
to
they
tell.
dirty
I'm
and holes
about to
this,
tell
that,
you.
the
I'm
other?
about to tell you
How do
exactly
you
what I
instill
told
that
him.
confidence that
And I
in
tell
him?
I told both of my sons this very thing. Being humble is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. That's the difference.
That joke,
That's what being humble is.
Waukesism always
I
got
don't
one.
want you to think less of yourself
You
and
can
less
tell
of
that
who
to
you
a
are.
13-year-old will understand that concept.
Absolutely. That's right. That's exactly why my wife went and bought our kids clothes from the Goodwill. And they was okay putting it on, going to very expensive, one of the most elite private prep schools in the country. They were very comfortable with that because we taught them that it was okay, that you shouldn't be trying to impress all these folks with all
Them
that
kids
stuff.
ain't care about that though.
Why not? Why not?
That's different.
Why,
That's a
why
whole
them
nother
kids ain't care about that?
That's
Them
that.
kids, they got all the money in the world. Why they ain't care nothing about that?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Poor people too busy spending money trying to look rich.
Why? Why though?
Because-
Can I feel good? I work
Be-
all week. I got to go home to the shack where the pipes busted. I got to flush buckets down the toilet. You know what I mean? It's cold half the time. Why can't I feel good on Friday and Saturday? 2 days out the week.
Well,
You sound like my man Boy Willie or somebody from piano lesson or somebody. Why can't I get drunk on Friday and Saturday night? I done been beat down all the week
Exactly.
long.
because I'm
And blessings to all of our businesses who are interested in advertising. We have great affordable rates. And if you'd like to advertise on our B2M Crew podcast, please reach out to us at b2mcrew5@gmail.com.
because I'm gonna
You need
ask
some
you
victories in
because
life.
I'm gonna ask you what's your goal and what's your purpose. See, tell me how drinking or feeling good is helping raise your kids.
See,
Tell me how
I
that's
said
doing
getting
it.
on the night. I ain't say drinking and feeling good.
I
I'm
said
saying
that.
getting
Yeah,
a
he
nice.
said it.
Oh, okay. Getting the outfit and going out on the town.
How that's helping your kid? You going out, you at home, like Chris Rock said, all the kids know is mommy be back. Because you always gone. You need to be at home, teaching some values.
So
So
is
his
the
values
problem
gonna get
with
them
black
out of that
parenting
shack.
is
His
we
values gonna get him out of that
I'll
shack.
say this until I die.
yeah.
We are not poor because we don't have money. We are not poor
okay.
because we don't have money. We lack a lot of other things. We lack the discipline. Sometimes we just lack the opportunity.
Okay,
know,
let's talk about. All right,
we lack a lot.
I
We
need
lack-
you to say it yourself when you talk about the more money I get, the better my morals are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, tell that story.
Yeah, I mean,
elaborate on that.
I've always said the better my bank account got, the better my morality got. See, because when you walking down the street and you drop that $20 bill, you know, when I got money in my pocket, I said, hey, come back. You dropped your money. When I don't got money on me, I step on your 20 and act like I ain't see it and wait till you gone.
So
man, you can't say that.
why don't that apply to
But see,
to
but here's
when
the
I'm working
thing.
for $13 an hour,
Here's the
struggling
thing.
60 hours
Here's
a
the
week
thing.
and can't get ahead?
We've
Why don't it
read
apply to
many
that person?
stories. We've read many stories about the person that found thousands of dollars and returned it and they didn't have
And what
none.
you call them?
I call them good people. That's what I call
And others call them
A
stupid.
damn fool.
them. Yeah, we watched that on Good Times, right? They harassed the heck out of them. All right. But what was that mother trying to instill in that family? It was about teaching values.
Values, yeah.
It was about teaching values because we're going to live by a set of principles and we're not always going to be in this condition because those principles is what's going to get us out of this.
See,
And I
I'm-
got
So
I'm-
values get you out of poverty. That's what you telling me?
yeah, they can. It's the road. It is a necessary ingredient to evolve you out of a station in life that you're in. Absolutely. Because the universe doesn't operate in a vacuum. The universe operates based on principles and laws, right? So if we don't lock into nothing, I just saw this thing that was it was dope. My man Neil deGrasse was talking about it,
Oh.
right? That's my dude.
Yeah.
These two scientists
we
was
getting
talking
into
about
space.
how scientists have proved the existence of God. Now, I'm not going to try to go into it right here because I can't even summarize. I got to brush up on it. But in short, the finding was they can prove God exists because nothing that God created, that there is a creator, because nothing can be created unless the conditions exist for something to be created, right? And so because of that, then those conditions predate the creation.
Yes.
So those conditions, though, what we call in those conditions, what we call nature, what we call the laws of the universe, all of those things are principles that are working themselves out night and day. Almost, if you could just think about a cipher, and they working it out through people, through places, through events. And when you lock into the principle, then you get the reward of what's inherent in that principle, in that value. So in that value of humility, then what comes with that is more abundance. Is more being put upon you, because this universal law that we call in Jesus, that we call Muhammad, that we call Buddha, that we call whatever we want to call it, that law is rewarding you for aligning your life to the principles that govern this universe. Woo. So if you lock into a set of values and you raise your children based on it, then you giving them the power to succeed and receive all of that abundance.
And extract that abundance from the universe.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yes, sir.
And what you do is you do that by changing the mindset.
Right. It starts
Because
with the
what
mind.
you know is that you cannot change the same mind that created the problem cannot change
So
the
y'all
problem.
saying-
So in order to change the problem, you got to change your mind.
So renew another
So
mind.
y'all saying poor people ain't got no morals or value.
No, that's
No,
not what
sir,
we're
that's not
saying
what
at
we're saying
all.
How did this become a conversation about poor against? How did this become a class conversation?
Well, we was talking about what's wrong with our folks.
I think it's something wrong with upper middle class, everybody.
Oh, okay.
Have you?
Absolutely.
How many times
It's
have
something wrong with me. What are you talking about? I'm definitely not trying to create that.
you cannot change a problem with the same mind that created the problem?
Right.
So oftentimes it's opportunity. All right. You know, my grandma, she's 95 years old. She didn't get to go to St. Anne's Belfield. All right. That wasn't an option for her. All right. High school won't even really an option. All right. So a lot of times it's opportunity. So, but when that opportunity does exist, we have to tell our people in our community that they had the power to change their reality. You gotta believe that, man. You have to believe that you have the power within yourself to change your reality if you don't like it.
It sounds like you hustling hope, man.
That ain't a hustle. That's what this is. Because that's how I changed my life. And that's how we changed our life. We wasn't hustling no hope. That's what it was. That's how we changed this.
And the environment.
John, is what you want us to do is acknowledge that lift is much heavier for those of us that are more oppressed and under-resourced and underserved.
Yeah,
I can.
And
That
that-
is a heavier lift. It's harder, absolutely.
because I know a whole lot of great,
It's harder.
broke moral family. Our family got phenomenal morals and values, I believe.
But we
You know what I mean?
still missing something. You
And-
still have to acknowledge that something is missing. That don't mean your character is bad. We're not attacking people's character. Sometimes it's other stuff. You
When
just
I
don't
said
know.
civilized, when I said civilized, did that trigger you?
I think
Nah, I was calling
sometimes
people civilized.
I think
I'm just joking.
sometimes I think a lot of us is some heavy Bible readers, but yet sometimes we misinterpret things, and they think being wealthy and being rich is a bad thing because it says something about the eye of the needle, but the realness is for the love of money, you know. And a lot of times people say money is bad and evil, but the real is for the love of it.
Mhm.
So you love it so much it make you do wicked things. That's that's the thing that they feel guilty for
And you know what?
being
We've
able to get being able to get
Listen,
ahead.
Why do y'all think? I'm gonna ask y'all. Look, why do y'all think money? That whole money is the say. All right,
The
I'm
root
with
of
you.
all
I'm with you.
evil. That's what they
the
say.
love of
For
money
the
is the
love
root
of
of all
money.
evil. I'm with you, right?
But I think he was trying to. So
No, he flipped
the,
it.
the,
He
one,
flipped
the one
it.
with the what is it? The
People
it's
say
easier to
money
get
is the root of all
a
evil.
camel
He
through
said,
the eye of a needle
yeah,
than a
it's
rich man to
easier
get
for a
to
rich
heaven.
man to go to heaven than
Right.
a camel.
No, easy
It's
for
easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to
get
enter the
into
gates of heaven.
right.
Right.
But look, this thing about the money, right? And this is important because of what's going on right now with Cat Williams coming out and talking about Illuminati and the Hollywood elite. I'm not on joke time. With Diddy and the accusation against Diddy about using money and wealth to manipulate young girls, the accusations against Russell Simmons, the
Harvey
proven
Weinstein.
history of R. Kelly, the history of Harvey Weinstein, right? Is it what the money does to me? Because, like you said, it's been kings and pharaohs and people that had money. Money's not new, and a lot of it is not new. Mansa Musa, the Mali Empire, the richest kingdom in West Africa, took 10,000 on a pilgrimage to Mecca. Come on, y'all. Timbuktu, the largest university in the world, all of this stuff. They were doing great things, the biggest industry, civilization. What money does in a society where our values are compromised, it makes people follow their lowest desires. It gives people the power to make their lowest desires happen. And what I like about what Cat Williams said was, I don't even look at stuff I don't want.
Because I could get it.
Because I can get it. And you can call Cat Williams crazy for say that, and then sit your behind up in church and say, Jesus said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. It's the same thing. Right or wrong?
Right,
It's the
right,
same
It's the same thing. Or like they said in life, as a man thinketh, so shall he get. Same. They remixed it, right?
Right.
But my point is, people with money, they think they can do whatever they want to do. And unfortunately for human beings that are born in a world of sin and shaped in iniquity, what we really want to do too much is some sick stuff in this world we live in.
Right.
Because we're emulating the depravity of the oppressor.
So when you got too much comfort, does that lead to the depravity?
It can lead to decadence if you have not gotten your mind outside of this Western do what you want to do because you got power and resources mentality.
Let me ask you this. Do you ever hear white folks talk about the village? Take a village, lifting them up?
White folks don't even have cousins, man.
Oh, okay. I ain't
Crazy.
had none.
What are you talking about, village, bro?
They don't even have cousins.
Crazy.
You ever, what white dude say that's my cousin?
Hey, it's some shiftless and Moors that got cousins.
Now,
We talking about where we live. Now.
right,
Yeah.
right, and that's what I was saying. I was telling my brother the other day. He was talking about
Y'all funny.
he gonna
man.
go get some barbecue down off of Route 33 somewhere, right? And I said, of course I don't eat that, but I was like, they got what kind of size they got over there? He said, man, I don't really mess with them size at those, other culture restaurants. I said, I don't know, boy. If they in the country, they season that stuff up like we do.
Hey, what about barbecue cauliflower?
Yeah, right.
Nah, man, look at you.
They got some soy barbecue though.
But yeah, man, I think that money thing, that's what I'm saying. So to me, when we get money, that's what we start doing. We start treating each other like we ain't shit.
You can't say
Just-
that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but
Just like they do.
yeah.
What the slave master do?
Yeah.
He get money. Ah, boy. Get away from me. Get that away from me.
Right.
Get him out. We get money, what we start doing? I don't want, get that, hey.
Getting cocky,
Yeah.
real cocky.
No value, don't care about the people waiting on us. We emulate the worst of our oppressor. That's what's going on with black parenting right now. And if you look at it, we've always felt that parenting outside of our culture was a detached style.
Wait, say that again. What now?
Let me restate.
Parenting outside our culture is a detached
We
style.
have, there has been many people that either jokingly or observe that parenting outside of the black community is more detached, more you can be with the nanny, more time spent away from the actual parent. I'm not putting a fact on that. I'm making just it's anecdotal observational data.
Right.
But if that's it, or because we always joke, let me just be direct. We always joke, man, the white kids can get away with murder. That's detached to me. When I can get snatched and you can't. Right? I'm talking about my mom gonna snatch me. Like, you know, who was it? Was it Ari Spears? Which one of the comedians was talking about when the white kid spent the night with him?
Was it? I think you talked. Yeah.
And his mom came in the room. The white dude was like, "Hey, man, your mom can't come in here. This is your space, man."
Was it Dave?
No,
I think it was Ari.
I think it was Ari.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
He's
Yeah.
like, hey, what are you doing? You can't come in here. This is your space, man. So that's what I'm saying. So y'all leaving me high on my own. Y'all know there's some differences. How these folks parent their kids. Kids can do it enough.
But no, definitely.
But what you saying, JG?
No, I was gonna go back into the social. So are we raising? I remember, man, we had some kids. We was like, these guys are rich, right? And we look back, they wasn't rich. Some of them rich. We grew up with a lot of rich kids, right? Some of them was just middle class. We wasn't. So now we middle class. Are we raising a whole bunch of spoiled, entitled kids?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's exactly why we're doing this, because ain't nothing about the way our kids living their life would suggest they spoiled and
as
entitled.
a community, are we raising spoiled, entitled kids? Because when you talk about the things that we dealing with as far as the crime and all of the morals and values, he's saying it's not just kids in the hood, the kids in the projects, it's middle class kids. It's like what my man say, Faking the Funk in PG County. Nathan McCall wrote a chapter in his book about that. You know, when kids,
I think, are we raising spoiled kids? I don't think we can put a generalization on that. I think our kids have a lot of things, and a lot of us didn't have a lot of things, and we place a judgment
some
on
resources.
that sometimes unfairly to me, because things are things, right? But what I will say is this, is that in terms of the entitled piece, I'm going back to the accountability. No matter what your kid has, a little bit or a lot, do you hold them accountable for great character?
where did character come from?
You said where it come from?
You back to the class issue again?
No, I said where the character come from.
The values.
Huh?
Character
Right.
What you teaching?
Character comes from the values and behavior that you teach are acceptable.
Wall
In your home, that you
some
practice.
kind of little sequential piece that he mentioned in the previous episode. How did that
You talking
How did
about
that
when
go?
I talk about your mind? You know, everything starts with your thoughts.
I think so, yeah. How does it go?
Yeah. Everything starts with your thoughts, and where you get your thoughts from, the people around you, the books you read, the information you consume. But your thoughts lead to your words lead to your actions lead to your habits lead to your character, and your character will lead to your destiny. But it starts with your thoughts. And so when I said earlier, it's all about the mindset, because you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. That's what I'm talking about.
So the first step is the thoughts.
Right. And where they come from, the people around you that's raising you, that's imparting a certain value system upon you. And so if that value system is misguided, there's some people that's raised in a value system where, hey, we gang banging, we out here doing what gangbangers do. That's the value system they've been raised with. That's not what we raising our entrepreneur. Like a good example, I raised my sons to be entrepreneurs. That's a set of values. You raise your boys to get jobs, go to college. That's why all three of them been to college, and they gonna be working jobs. That's what you raise them to do. That's a different set of values. We just going about it different, but it's still, they get that from you.
I don't
and
say
so-
not to be entrepreneur. I just
No.
don't go entrepreneur or nothing at all. That's yeah. But that's a different conversation.
But how much do you talk
Yeah.
about being an entrepreneur?
I do.
You do. You
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, not like
Alright.
you.
Is
Not
it
not to
10%?
you.
He
Nah,
didn't. He
you
didn't.
are
He didn't
not-
ask if you do or you don't. He said how much.
Yeah, I don't have a percentage
Hey,
on that.
but look, I'm
I didn't raise
gonna
them.
chime in on it because on that part of it, I don't think. I mean, I get it. Like to me, back to love languages, knowing your child and all that. You might have a child that's not an entrepreneur
Well, how you get like that?
because they don't
Like
have the
that's a
same
problem.
gifts and ideas
But
that
your
you have.
but your entrepreneurial son will
What you mean, how
never
they
be
get
a
like that?
success
Yeah, I
without
get like
without
that.
without work.
Just like
You got like that from his mama. No,
Yeah, he got that
no.
from
he
mama.
can get it from his daddy.
He
nah.
like he act like that's a deficiency.
Because it could
That's
be
a
No,
deficiency.
I'm not
be a
saying it's a
child-
deficiency.
It could be a child
Yeah.
that just grows up and has a gift for something they want to pursue,
Right.
and they don't have business sense. They might not have no damn business sense. How about that? That's possible, even for somebody that want to be an entrepreneur.
I mean,
They're
well,
not good at business.
well, looking at Waz boys, it's entrepreneurship in different ways because Darius is more entrepreneurial in the
Jerris is a traditional
in the
entrepreneur.
yes,
Yeah.
and Kari is from his talents, which places him in the position to operate entrepreneurially, if you will.
I want to take it
It's
outside of Waukee because we got those great examples, right? And I
Mhm.
get it. The reason why this is what I'm saying. You can teach. You can if you're an entrepreneur. Waukee's dead set on. He's an entrepreneur always. Even if he got a job, he's terrible at it. Right? I'm just joking. That's what we
You need to ask for some help.
Yeah, right. All right. What I'm saying is, you can't say entrepreneur or bust, and then at the same time saying I'm parenting the child that I have.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that.
You can still tell that child, hey, I think you should think on some business terms
Yeah,
because you could also
I agree with
use
that.
your gifts to do, and you could be in more control of it. You could try to coerce them into like,
Yeah.
yo, somebody else is gonna manage you if you don't do this, right? But
Hey, you either working on your dream or you working on somebody else's
yeah,
dream.
yeah.
It's up to you. You decide how you want to do it. But trust and believe. You either gonna be the entrepreneur or you gonna work for the entrepreneur. One or the other.
Yeah. Or in the words
Do-
of Ice-T,
You gonna be the pimp or the hoe. Which one you gonna be?
What? But
That's
Yeah,
what T said.
yeah.
But real quick, what's interesting about the beginning premise of what was asked, and then Waukee's initial example of being the one that spurns a certain system of value of success with the accountability piece in lieu of the parent, though, and then the parent being, kind of, pushing that away or rejecting that in a sense is a microcosm of the macrocosm. You know what I mean? There are people in our society and in the community that are pushing that, but it's rejected by many of our, many in our community as and foolishly though. You know what I mean? It's like, and it was interesting because JG was using a different example of like the parent that's kind of struggling, and what if it's that wasn't the example that he started with. That one was kind of like with the whole shame piece or thinking, I don't want to hear Waukee's mouth and this, that he think he knows this, that, and the thing. Almost a thing of like I said, that it had to do with ego and pride and so on and so forth, and not being humble enough to say you were creating the opposite of what we would expect that person to do. To be humble and say, you know what, hell, I'm not doing it. Appreciate him for his doing it, and allowing that to take root in better their child, and in some way, because hey, I can't do it. I'm not there to do it. So hey, let the man be that. But that
Glad
is
you're doing
difficult. Is right. Be appreciative and grateful for it. But again, on a macrocosmic level, that's similar to how again we have leaders in our community and within our as a people that try to get us to, or get us to be better, and it's rejected, and they try not to see it because again, whether it's the
But
influence.
if you understand and embrace, Talik talked about, we into some spiritual stuff tonight in the Bible, been in the Bible and all the stuff. But if you understand that there's a season to everything, then you can have patience with your child that appears to not want to be an entrepreneur per se right now because they're developing. Like sometimes you see what I'm saying? Like
I had that situation with Tyreek.
Okay.
I really wanted him. I was hard. I was mindful, but I wanted him to be an entrepreneur. And I seen he gave me some resistance. And I fell back. I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave him alone. Because I recognize that I didn't want to ruin him. And I say, once he get out here and he see things and he worked for me, doing side jobs and stuff, and the way I paid him, I say eventually he's gonna catch on. And I remember when he, came to me and he was like, Dad, he was like, I worked over here 3-4 days and I ain't even make $100. And I worked with you for, 3 hours and you paid me $100. I said, yeah, what's wrong with that? I brushed it off because I wanted to see what he had in his tank.
he was playing old wise man.
I was like, yeah, okay, all right, what's wrong with that? And he was like, but, and then I said, well, tell me the difference. I said, when you was working here, you was getting paid by the hour. I said, I paid you by the job. I said, that's the difference. And I said, a lot of times entrepreneurs might get paid by the job versus by the hour. And I said, that's what the difference in your pay came into. And he was like, well, I need to be doing or working more with you. I said, well, yeah, hey, that's up to you. I'm just, I paid you because I needed your help. You did what you did. And I just left it alone. I didn't entertain it. I was just answering the question and kept it moving. And then he started coming more and wanting to get more of being an entrepreneur. And that's exactly what I wanted him to do.
Listen, we all are familiar with, if a man is thirsty and you hold up a muddy glass of water and a clean glass of water, you do not have to tell him which glass of water to choose to drink from. He will naturally know. So if I take Darius out, we scalping tickets, and he can make $400 in 90 minutes scalping tickets while he watch his friends go work at the mall for who knows how long and don't come close to $400. You choose. You can go work at the mall if you want to. It's up to you.
Right.
But I've showed you the difference.
So this is
Now
the thing.
you choose.
We
If you want to go work at the mall, go right ahead.
All right, so we talking about what's going on with our kids and their morals and values and what's happening, right? And then we talked about entrepreneurship versus working with someone. When I raise my children, I want them to be a man. Being a man is, if you want to start a family, you get yourself a wife, you have yourself a couple children, be able to take care of them. I don't care how you take care of them. So if you're an entrepreneur, phenomenal. Because for Andre and Isaiah, I had both of them. I had Andre washing cars, right? And showed him a business model. I was the bank, showed him how about interest. I did Isaiah with cutting grass. So I do push the entrepreneurship. Maybe not as hard as you. However, if my son is a janitor, right, and is able to take care of his wife and his kids, and he lives happy versus a kid that's, 80 years old and never leave the house, and hey, I'm okay. He's
Bro,
winning.
you're
winning.
right.
And listen, when we talk about a village ain't all kings. Somebody got to
agree.
sweep the floor. Somebody got to fix the pipe.
But not me.
So, hey, a village.
But
Okay,
not me.
so okay,
Not
so,
me.
So you all or nothing then.
I ain't
So
all or
when
nothing.
when we talking about Raiders Village, somebody got to do those mundane things.
I understand
to
it.
create
So
a
we're gonna
successful
need
village.
your son to sweep and mop.
Oh,
That's what you said.
Okay.
Because you okay
Right.
with it. Because
Right.
let me tell you
No.
this.
If
Let
he's
me say
able to
this.
take care of his family and do that,
I
'cause
know,
there's
and what I'm
dignity
saying
in
is,
everything
what I'm
that
saying,
you do.
and
It's
what I'm
dignity
saying
in every
is,
job.
what
That's
I'm
what I'm saying.
You're right. You're
There's
right.
dignity in everything
There's
that you do.
dignity
And when
in
you able to
every
take
work.
care of your family, it don't matter.
There's dignity in every work. But our experience moving through this life is going to be very different. All right? Because when you rich and your mama gets sick, you can do something about that. All right? But when you got to go beg Medicaid to pay the bill, that's a different experience. That's what I'm talking about. And when you go into inferior schools and getting an inferior education, that's what I'm talking about. So yeah, we're gonna move through life and I'm gonna take care of my family, but it's gonna be a different experience. You can rest assured of that.
But I think the nuance. Remember we were just talking earlier how somebody always come in and bring some interpretation.
Hey.
This is the nuance. I'm gonna take it back to another episode, Joaquin. The nuance is we're talking about in this part of the conversation
All right.
what we're teaching our sons. Y'all done changed it to his son in the room till he 80 and yours sweeping the floor in the village. The most
Why I gotta be my
nigga
son?
stuff I ever seen.
My son ain't sweeping for your son.
And
Your
so-
son will sweep for my son.
and
Because that's what you raised them to do.
I tried.
Raise them, don't get mad at
I
me.
was trying to say,
It start
shots
with the
fired.
parents.
I was trying to like, we in some territory, right?
Nah.
But no, look, but this is my point. Let me make my last point about that. My point is, when we talk about where they end up and why they ended up there versus what you're teaching, that's two separate things.
Very true. Very true.
Do you understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Because we talked about that on another show.
Yeah.
If you
That's-
want to go live at Auntie house,
That's two separate things.
go have at it.
Because we all know it. We all different species of animal. We all don't have the same desires and ambitions.
That's true.
You know, but to your point, you accept the station you accept. And I'm gonna make another point about that though. When we do go to those third world countries and your kids see how those people live, one of the things I know they see, because we see it, is they have nothing and they're happier than we are in the States.
Who you telling?
That's heavy.
Facts.
Huh?
Who you
Yeah.
telling? That's
Facts.
real.
But Uncle Bo said,
Hey man, let me tell you something. I say this all the time, man.
Right.
I know
Right.
some real happy dudes that get paid by the hour and play their guitar downtown on the mall every Friday and
Yeah,
Saturday, and they
yeah.
real happy.
Yeah.
But they doing what they love though.
Right. Yeah, and ain't nothing wrong with that. And ain't nothing wrong with that. I really do. And so yeah, I think I said on, one of the previous episodes, it's funny because when you go and you meet people who have what they call it, expatriated and become,
No.
citizens in Costa Rica or wherever,
Yeah.
oftentimes they talk about how happy they are because they have less.
Yeah.
And no
because
pressure on them.
Yeah, because they have less.
Y'all-
And they found a
Y'all
level of
attacking
peace.
capitalism again.
Yeah.
When they asked
Yeah,
Bob
yeah,
Marley,
going on
remember
capitalism
this? Y'all
again.
seen the real days Bob Marley? Was he rich? He said, what is rich?
Yeah.
What is
does it
this you
mean?
call rich? If I got love, I got my
So
family. I'm
so let me
rich.
ask you this.
Absolutely.
And keep in mind, none of us, our great grandparents had 13 kids, right?
Right.
Out of them 13, they had 3 to 5. Us, we having less children, right?
Yeah.
So we having a whole different conversation if we had 7 or 8 kids. Right or wrong?
You said we'd have a
If,
whole
if
different
we did
conversation.
have 7, 8.
Yeah, we were
per-
talking about some of the choices we made.
You be like, that boy gonna be a channel.
Hey, I just want them to do something.
Hey, look,
You're
hey.
so appreciative about anything.
So let me ask you this.
The way the numbers gonna shake out.
It's a numbers game. I ain't gonna have 9 entrepreneurs. He not gonna have 9 entrepreneurs.
That's why I stopped at 2.
Hey, unless they farmers, right?
You said if I get 2 on
can't
track, I
leave.
get them
Hey,
back on track.
that's why I stopped at 2.
You can't lead a
Hey.
farm.
So sorry, this is my question.
All right.
So if you raise child with a phenomenal moral and value system, and they all capitalist kings, and they get the best health care ever, and one of my sons is your janitor,
Mhm.
and he's maintained your
Stop, John.
kingdom.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
doing-
I'm
I'm
with you.
listening.
So you saying your moral and value system would not allow him when his mama gets sick for you to take care of her too?
I absolutely would.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
Absolutely
a village.
Well, he can
Yeah.
work with you.
But
That's a village.
Yeah.
but
but
is that, yeah.
I
Yeah.
still would want to be in the position of being able to help you and decide to take care of my own, control to take care of my own.
there's a saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That-
yeah. That's leadership within the village.
Yeah.
There's a saying. My man Jamal King says, "One man's obedience is tied to many people's destiny." All right,
Yeah.
and because Bill Gates was obedient to what he was obedient to, look at the lives he's able to touch and change.
I thought you were gonna say Jesus or something, man.
Well, you can say that too.
Oh,
He
okay.
said,
He said Bill Gates. Bill Gates Illuminati. Nah.
Yeah. I ain't,
He
I ain't,
trying to
I ain't,
take
said,
over.
I ain't
Nah.
said Jesus because Jesus wasn't in charge.
I was gonna say, hey, but is
I
he
believe
still
that
in?
one alone.
What you looking for, Chuck?
Huh?
What you looking for?
Yeah.
But that's real, man. You know.
Hey, look.
Go ahead. You got something brewing
No,
over
no,
there.
I couldn't find what I was looking for.
Oh, my bad.
It's all good.
Well, the B2M crew.
No, but
Nah.
this whole thing and this conversation about values, parenting, it cut across a lot of different topics, but I think it's key because those are the type of things that ultimately decide and can shape how some of us support or mess our children up, man. You know what I'm saying? But to me, one of the biggest takeaways from the conversation is when we were talking about just the importance of the teaching of the values, the accountability, and the impact of chasing the bag, and what that's doing to our community collectively,
Yeah.
and what that's doing to us as a village that we need to reclaim. Right?
That's right.
Right.
There's some takers out of here with Joaquin.
Before I say that, I'm gonna say this is exactly why we do this show.
Yeah,
This is why we do this show.
yeah,
Because we're trying to, in some way, make a difference in people who trying to get it right.
right,
And maybe they can hear a word or two from us that will help them.
right.
And impact.
Because in my 20 years of coaching,
How long?
20.
How many decades?
over 2 decades, I have really come to learn that one sentence can alter the course of a person's life, good or bad. All right. And so the impact that we can have sitting up here on this platform can make all the difference in the world in a young person's life and in a parent's life that's trying to make a difference.
That's a fact.
And that's why we do this.
That's a fact.
So
And I'm glad you said that. And I want to add to that, man. We are in a crisis. We have a black family crisis, man.
Yeah.
You know,
we
y'all
not
saw-
even doing the
y'all
minimum.
saw Haki, you know, he working on a song he putting out called Daddy's Girl about sex trafficking. And 58%, he put a stat out, 58% of the teenagers arrested for prostitution are black females.
hey,
58%, they know what we already know. They ain't nowhere near 58% of the population,
Population. Right.
right? And then 40-some% of underage. It's crazy, man. But the value system. It's a lot of people that got a hand in that beside the young lady and the pimp,
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Yeah,
and to know about that.
yeah. It's an environment.
Yeah,
It's a brew that's been concocted.
right.
And when you get the outcome you get, it's not by accident.
right.
It's a set of circumstances and an environment that have been set up so that it produces these outcomes.
That's right.
You know, and so you either have to, like I say before, you have to believe our people are inferior, or there's a system in place producing this outcome.
Exactly. And does that make you so determined to be an entrepreneur? Nothing at all. Right.
Absolutely.
and lost and turned out by the
And
whispers.
God will never change the condition of a people until they change themselves.
Themselves, yes, sir.
Mindset.
And what Frederick Douglass say to us?
In the words of the great Frederick Douglass, it is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. Peace.
Yeah.
Until I'm winning. I'ma show 'em how true and independent get it. Whole game changed by the time I'm finished with it. We about to get this business handled in a minute. And I won't stop until I'm winning. They don't want me in the office 'cause